Hello, my name is Andres Lopez, and I am majoring in one of the, at the moment, one of the highest in demand, I would say, jobs with this whole debacle going on right now. If you guess nursing, that is correct. I am a nursing major, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about my 2017 Anatomy Lab Manual. This book itself is just very important to me because of all of the journey I have with this book. Um, when I skim through this book, it's just a regular lab manual, regular book, nothing really special, no magic tricks, can't do a backflip, nothing. But what I see is something very different. When I skim through this, obviously, I get a sense of loneliness, motivation, and also accomplishment, which are the 3 points that I'm going to get into today because I really went through it at the time that I was taking this class. And the fact that I was able to overcome it really kind of set the tone for the rest of my career in college as what as I know. So let's start off with loneliness. This is the first I would say feeling that I get from this book when I skim through it because I felt really alone that semester. I was in a relationship when the semester started. It fell apart a couple weeks after, and I felt alone. I was heartbroken. You know the deal. Then I was a first generation college student. I had no one to go to. I had no guidance. I had to find everything out for myself. And I was also the youngest in my anatomy class. I was 18 at the time. Everybody was at least 24, 25. So that was a huge age gap. So I wasn't really bonding with anyone. Yeah. And then overall, I just didn't know anyone in the campus. None of my friends went to that college. So I was alone. But the fact that I pulled through really motivated me, which is my next point. So, if you're not familiar with anatomy has a lecture part and a lab part, which is just like every other class: physiology, microbiology, chemistry, biology, all of that. So there's two parts. This is the lab version, which is the lab part. So this was used to just write down my notes on diagrams, study for tests, etc., all that. Um, so how does this serve as motivation now? Um, I have a TV, which is right here. This sits right under my TV. And whenever I feel like discouraged, where I don't have the motivation to go to college and go to class and all that, I just skim through this and just really let it sink in that I can do it. I can get up and go to class. Because I was going through such a hard time when I was going to this class, but I was still attending. So that really helps me out. And once I do end up going to class that day, I feel accomplished, and that's one of the third things that comes out of this book is accomplishment. And as far as this goes, when I got my final grade in anatomy, when I found out I passed, I was very excited because I felt very accomplished. Because if you're not familiar with anatomy, it's a very notorious class. It's hard. There's no other way of putting it. It's just hard. So I was very intimidated in the beginning of the semester. I was nervous. I was like, what have I gotten myself into? But the fact that I was able to overcome all of that and still pass gave me a big sense of accomplishment. This was also the very first time I had to put my big boy pants on and keep it pushing. So that's why I think this book is well. And just overall, as a individual, I'm more confident going. As of that point, I was more confident going into my next classes because I, I I was put out of my comfort zone and I was forced to make myself comfortable with being uncomfortable. So it's just another positive thing that came out of this book. So overall, this book is amazing. Um, I appreciate every single ounce of knowledge that I've gotten out of this book, and it's really been there for me when I felt like everybody in my life was like moving around and shifting. So that's why I appreciate this book. And like I said, it's not only negative thoughts when I see this; it's also positive thoughts. My negative thought being loneliness, but the other two positive ones would be motivation and accomplishment, which is good to have a balance, more positive than negative. yeah, so I hope, you gain something out of this book as well. Not as material wise, but just a lesson, to just always keep it moving. And there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always have faith in yourself. And so, thank you.